Hello, Nicole. Hello.
Hello, Eric. Hello.
Don't make it be a battle.
The bun, I know.
Hello, whoa, 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 Nicola. That sound good? You know what?
Hello, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's called the bun song. My bun has a mind of its own, so
Do you know what's going to be really embarrassing?
when my
The
hair
d-
starts falling out of the bun because it's a disaster, I know.
no, like when that voice thing stops working, like it likes to do sometimes, or messes up, and I go to talk because I have to like change how I talk to make it sound good. And
Yes,
it's not. And so people are just gonna hear me being like, hello, whoa, 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 like that.
and that's just gonna be a fail.
You know what's not a fail, Nicole?
I know it's not a fail.
What?
Our friends.
Our friends, when they follow, like, and subscribe wherever you guys are watching Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you now, you later,
You
you
tomorrow,
whenever,
you today.
you today. And it is today, which is, it's today and it's now. And you know what you should
Yes.
do now? You should share the show.
Yes.
Let everyone know that we are live wherever you guys are watching, or if you make it to the end of this show sometime in the future, make sure you share it then and let people know that we're live. Of course, you can find the links to all of Nicole's socials, my socials, the show's socials, our schedule, and more over at HelloFriendsPod.com.
And if you're listening to the audio version of this show or any of our shows, please be sure to leave it a positive review, a 5-star rating, and again, be amazing and share it with all of your friends and family and neighbors and hair salonists.
Oh, we should try and get a hair salon gig.
I need to go to the hair salon. My hair is so long and I didn't notice it till I put it in a ponytail for the first time in a long time today, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's really, really long. So haircuts welcome. Anybody who knows how to do it, please come my way.
You know how, like, when you go to a salon, you can, like, buy the packages? It can be like, do you want a blowout, or a cut and a
Yeah.
blowout, or a curl, or a dye, or a massage? There should literally be the Eric and Nicole package where we just come out next to your chair and do a little in-person chat.
But not cut their hair. Talk to them while they're getting their hair cut.
No, it's like an option.
It's an option for us to cut their hair.
No, it's an option for them to, like, have a live performance.
Oh, I get that. I think that's fun, especially if we're getting like something really long done, like a bleach job or like
Yeah,
highlights or something. We can perform.
I think that's a good thing. I think we should try and market that. Trademark.
We'll call it Hello Hair.
Hello, hair. Why'd you make
I was supposed
that
to be a lot more
choice?
creative than it came out, but you know.
No, I would be like, hello, hair. Why are you choosing that? Are you sure you
we could
like that color?
we could offer commentary on people's hair, and I would like everything. I'd be like, more color, make it rainbow.
Hello, friends.
Hello,
That was
friends.
totally my idea and nobody else's.
I love that.
Me
Who'd you
too.
steal it from?
Trademark. It's mine. It's mine. Stole it.
I don't see it.
Um,
I don't see it. So,
we JP, we
oh, of
have
course,
to we have to talk about tonight's episode. I am dying to talk about all of the things from tonight's
yes.
episode and see what you were thinking about this, seeing what all of the chats are thinking about this. But first, bookkeeping. Number 1, the Instagram post and Twitter post are up if you guys want to leave your questions for Kyle. Go and do it. Do it now. Do it at the end of the show. Yes.
And they are also up for Reagan tomorrow on our episode of Hello Friends. So if you have any questions for Reagan as well, please leave those.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Bum bum bum.
We kind of had a fun idea today.
We did.
We thought, you know what would be fun? Is if like once a week or every other week, We brought one of you guys on to talk Big Brother Canada with us. So of course, I was like, let me go straight to the source of, uh chat comedy, JP, and he said, I don't watch that show. I went,
There's a
oh,
couple people that do not. There's a couple people
yes.
that do not. Yes.
So I'll go fuck myself, JP. So then I went, all right, I'm gonna go to my 15th choice and skip everything in between. National Devil, Maximus Mom. I texted her, didn't reply. So then I just called her ass. And
Okay.
she's like, oh, I don't know. Like something slurry, drunk, slobbering, drooling noises. And was like, oui, oui, no, French quartet. I don't know what she was saying. She was talking French. I heard drooling drips. And she was like,
Well,
oh, busy, me bottle of wine all night long. Ha ha ha. Bonsoir. And then hung up. So,
calm on your feet.
yeah, so I was like, screw this. But we're putting it out there. We're
Yep.
putting it out there that I think that's gonna be a fun thing that, we can maybe do.
The only way it's gonna be taken in is if it's put out.
I went to
You have to
Chickadee.
you have to
What?
put out if you wanna be taken in, you know?
Yeah. I went to Chickadee too, who was totally on board until she realized I meant tonight and then said, and I quote, "Oops, I just crapped my pants. No, too soon." I don't know if she wanted me to share that part, but I mean, I am. I
No
share
way.
everything. Don't
But
talk to me unless you want it on a show.
but in that sense, yes, we are opening it up to any slash all of you, not all at once, obviously, but one at a time, to join us to talk about the episodes and get more of a perspective and more opinions and more insights and more interactivity.
To be fair, mean old Eric is gonna put a little asterisk on this. I
I cannot
mean,
say that word for the life of me.
asterisk, can you say,
Asterisk,
hypocrite?
hypocrite. I know what hypocrite means.
Who doesn't? What, but my
Hypocritical.
toddlers know. We'll get
Uh,
to it.
they
I'm so a
they're having a nice little heart to heart, and that's a good friend. He didn't laugh at him. He didn't judge him. He was just like, "What do you think it means?" And he was like hypocrite." He was like, "Yeah, man, that's what it means."
yeah, and then the next sentence was, "What does hypocrite mean?" But they cut it out. We'll get to it.
Um,
We'll get to it. Here's my little asterisk. Because,
Asterisk.
there's gonna be so many people that are like, we wanna join." It needs to be someone that's, been a follower of shows that, we know from the chats. We wanna give back to our, HFC community. So while, we appreciate that we're sure tons of people are gonna want to, come around, be in shows, be parts. If we know who
Yes,
you are, 100%. But obviously we can't just guest in someone willy-nilly, it could hurt our monetization.
and I think in that sense too, someone who's been like sharing shows and interacting with shows, whether it be like on Twitter or YouTube or whatnot, and like you're just saying, that's more so in regard to
Yeah,
safety. We can't just guest in random, and then
yeah.
it's like, whoa, someone's like doing a striptease. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, now to be fair, we have that with Maximus' mom. She probably won't be clothed,
Okay,
and she'll be
so we're
wasted.
gonna call that an X-rated show,
No,
or she'll show up.
I have a graphic for the time she's guested in the
Okay,
past. I have like a devil graphic already made. Just throw it up.
okay. Oh, don't throw up.
No.
Mhm.
Can we talk about how enraged I am with this episode?
Why are you enraged with this episode? Explain.
Not enraged. I'm like, well, no. I am a little bit enraged. Um, right at the end of last night's episode, and
Hmm.
then right from the start of this episode, they're all throwing at us invisible HOH.
Yes.
Find out later tonight who is going to be the invisible HOH. What?
No, it was find out more. Didn't necessarily say we were going to learn who the HOH was, just that we were going to learn more about it.
I hate when Big
About it.
Brother edges me.
I know you do, but they need people to tune into the next episode. They want people to go, "Ooh, what happened?" and tune into the next one, you
Do you
know?
think people really wouldn't tune in if they let us know who won?
I know, but it's showbiz, baby. I can't think of the name of it. It's not edging. It's pre not preview. I can't think of the word.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
Um, Although I am curious if you know what edging means.
I do know what edging means.
Okay. Can you edge?
Yes.
Can you? Still not convinced I think you know what it means, but whatever. I mean, I guess you could. Why couldn't you? Doesn't matter. This is gross.
Anybody
Moving
can
on.
edge anybody.
I guess. Baiting is the word you were looking for.
Baiting, yeah, exactly. You put a little bit out, and the people come, and you reel them in.
Also, what you do after edging. But here's the thing. Do we want to get in? Do we want to do the end first? Do we want to start at the start? Because I have lots of questions about this invisible HOH.
I will say start at the start, and this way we have all the invisible HOH to rant about at the end.
I agree. All right, let's do it.
Okay, so episode starts. Arissa saying how we're all playing in duos, which really hasn't been seen before. We go into Kiefer calling himself the Grim Kiefer, and then we go into the um, post-Veto ceremony. And post-Veto
Yes.
ceremony results in a Kyle coming at Kiefer. I remember I said at the end of last episode, like, he better not, he said he's going to blow everything up, but he shouldn't. He comes at Kiefer, guns a blazing in front of everybody,
For such a nice guy, you really made a horrible move.
and it starts preaching at him about, like, oh, you claim respect, but you don't show respect, blah, blah, which goes back to the whole hypocrisy thing. And I see Victoria go to speak, and I'm like, oh gosh, like, where is this going to go? Is this going to turn into some kind of Kiefer bashing session? And Victoria, like, let Kyle have it. Like, she shut him down. And one of my favorite things, and I think this is such a not used quote. I feel like it's like a quote that we is like aged. Like, it's like an Anthony family quote, which is your ass is grass. That's something
I
my
know.
family says. So I loved hearing her say that. But one thing my sister had pointed out is it's very interesting that Kyle had no issue coming at Kiefer, but when Victoria, a very strong woman who, speaks her mind, came at him, he shut down very quickly. And his rebuttal was not, oh, I'm going to come for Victoria's throat. His rebuttal was, I'm not talking to you. I want to, like, basically attack Kiefer. So I think it goes to show, like, kind of like intimidation factor and who people feel they can talk down to versus who they can't. But I was very proud of Victoria for, like, I know she sometimes gets herself into trouble, like, 'cause she says stuff. It's like, no, no, just keep your mouth shut. But in that sense, I was like, yeah, you tell him.
Well, I mean, two things now from the live feeds. I don't know number one because they didn't make it part of the edit. And here's the thing about this cast. This cast loves to put on a show. They
Yeah.
love to be dramatic. They love to create TV.
Hmm.
From their meetings to their roasting to if you didn't really pay, like if you weren't looking for it, I feel like you would have missed it. But did you notice the eating of the popcorn during it?
No.
During that ceremony, Kiefer was like throwing popcorn in his mouth. Ty and Jedson came over with their things of popcorn. They
Oh,
had
shit.
planned on the live feeds. They knew there was going to be all this drama. We knew that Victoria was going to go after Kyle
Oh, wow. Okay.
and Roe. We knew there was going to be all this drama. So they were like, it'd be funny if we got popcorn. So that on the edit, we're sitting there eating popcorn. And here's the thing, it came off just as douchey as I thought it
Yeah.
would.
Oh, I'm sure it would. Like, and this is what I mean about, like, again, having not really being like 100% watching feeds. That is a contributing factor. Like, here I am seeing this argument and saying, like, oh, come on, Kyle, why are you coming at Kiefer? But in that sense, like, on the other side of the ballpark, like, that's douchey as well, to kind of like bait somebody and feed into it. And, like, here he is, he's not being taken off the block during a veto ceremony. He knows he's the target, and everybody's sitting there like, oh, we're eating popcorn. Like, there's no need for that.
Yeah, I mean, was it funny? Yes, but again, things like that, and I think in all situations like this, are never funny when it's the people in the position of power. Like
Yes.
the same reason it wasn't funny when they cornered, Kiefer in the storage room is the
Yep.
same reason why it's not funny when Kiefer is doing it as the HOH to people whose games he's ending.
Yep.
Like, it's not funny in that I mean, it was a little funny, but what was funny was that they really thought it was gonna make the edit, and they didn't. I mean, it made the edit that it's on the show, but they didn't
Not.
explain what was happening.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you didn't really pick up on it. You would have had to
No.
know to look for that for the live feeds.
And you're so right with what you're saying in regard to like it's always different. We were saying this in another episode. It's always different who's in the position of power. If you corner an HOH and you're like, no, put this person up, that's not intimidating because that person's in a position of power. If you corner somebody who's on the block down and out, it messes with the dynamic, and it is more intimidating and like off. So yeah, definitely 100% with that.
Yeah, and it was Ty, and Kiefer who were kind of winding, Victoria up to go after Kyle, so Kiefer knew that was going to happen, and I think that's why Kiefer, like, reserved himself. He is good. Here's the thing, and I don't know if I'm on an island here, like, chats can let us know, or you guys can comment below and let us know if you agree. Uh, yes, Kiefer brings drama-ish a little. I just don't like the way he goes about things. That whole Tina and Tara conversation of, I
Yeah.
didn't know I'd be so good at this game. I created chaos amongst everyone. It's like you really realize you are building brick by brick your pedestal that people are gonna knock you the fuck off of probably
Yep.
this week.
And with all due respect, it's not like it's final three and things
Yeah.
are set in stone and it's just a matter of winning a comp. It is so early in the game. And as in the game, as in real life, the pendulum always swings. Always. And not saying you should be modest because you may end up on the other end, but that's exactly what I'm saying. You can't get overconfident. And again, to quote Julie Chen Moonves from our season, oh how the mighty have fallen.
Yep.
You can't get so overconfident because A, fandoms like underdogs, and when you're acting like that, they're like, yeah, no, we're done with you. Number two, other people in the house, whether they're working with you or not, are going to start going, oh, this guy thinks he's got it in the bag. And again, number three, it's week 4. And yes, you may be in a great spot, but if there's one thing you should know, that house changes day by day, week by week. You got a long way to go. So, don't be sitting back like, haha, I'm the best at this game. Like I sent them all home because you didn't yet. And yeah, you're working with Tina and Tara, but they could very well have that moment of like, Kiefer, like he thinks he's got this in the bag. Yeah, let's keep mental note.
Yeah.
Not smart.
Um, like what Courtney says in chat too, also on the feeds during that convo, Kiefer said to them like, "This is weird. The way that you're pushing so hard for Austin to go makes me feel like you have something with Kyle." And I mean, we saw that on the episode when,
Mhm.
they were talking about like, we want to keep Kyle, it would make more sense, yada yada.
Yes.
Kiefer was aware of that and picked up on that and was kind of putting pressure on them for that.
Mm. No, I hear that. It's one of the things, because I had we'll get to this when we get to like all the fun stuff they were all going through. But one thing that is so interesting about Big Brother is again, similar to real life, it change your opinions of people change day by day. Just because, 2 episodes ago you're like, I want this person to win, doesn't mean 2 episodes later you won't be like, you could use some humble pie. Just like 1 episode ago, you'd like, that person's a douche, send him home. And then an episode later, you go, oh wow, there is a human side to him. Like, it's that's one thing of the social experiment that I like never get past is the fact that again, what we were saying yesterday about multifaceted, like you see it on a game level and you also see it on a personal level.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it's interesting to see the shifts. And Kiefer's somebody who I constantly see the shifts with. I literally go from you have my whole heart to like, oh, but you have my heart. Oh, like I continuously go back and forth with him because he says things certain times that I'm like, oh,
Yeah. He does, and then I also have to laugh, kind of like what you said, like about the whole Victoria thing as well, because Lord knows she wanted it to be a thing.
Yep,
And, there are people that think she wants airtime, but she was just like, well, and like everyone is just, your
yep.
ass is grass,
Well,
and then
I
everyone's
love that
just
quote.
like, it's just like we just watched it fizzle out and burn, like it didn't go anywhere.
But she tried take 2, and, obviously, this is later when they're having the hypocrisy conversation. When Ro and Kyle are in the ball pit, she comes in, and it's not like walk in, stand with them for a little bit, and go, Guys, I need to talk about something." It's not like open the door and go, "Guys, we need to talk." It was literally like planned in like a grandiose way where it was almost like almost like watching a bad movie, like a bad acting skit. Like she just flung the door open, it's like, "I'm still mad." And it's like, what? Like it's almost as if like it didn't work the way she wanted to. So she's like, "Oh, let's do it again." And one thing it reminds me of is you had said during All Stars, Danny being somebody who's like, "Oh, I'm getting bored. Let me stir some pots." That's who Victoria reminds me a lot of like, "Oh, let's get some
I
things
mean,
stirring."
it was planned. Like, it was planned. The guys,
Mhm.
Kiefer, Ty, Jedson, they planned to do the popcorn. They wound Victoria up to go after Kyle. They were
Yeah.
hoping that it would cause an issue, and start breaking up the oddball alliance. Like, everybody knew what was going to happen going into that. We were all waiting. Like, I
Oh, wow.
think I even tweeted out on like Monday morning, somebody let me know as soon as the feeds come back on in case I miss it. And then like
Yeah.
we all run back to the feeds and everybody's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a
It wasn't
it fizzled both times.
I believe, wow, I can't even believe I remember this. I feel like when they came back on, it was Kyle in the balls by himself. So I guess we got past that conversation. But yeah, I mean we knew what was gonna happen. We knew.
Speaking of, Kyle and the balls,
Uh-huh.
it was a
Austin.
little cute, come on.
With
Come
Austin?
No, with
Is
Kyle and Ro, with, like, the hypocrisy.
Oh, I don't understand how an adult doesn't know what the word hypocrisy means, I'm sorry.
I think oftentimes in life, you may get used to using a word, and then if
Yeah,
someone goes, "Well, define it," and it's almost as though he knew when to say it, he knew the situation that it fits in, but when someone goes, "Well, define it," it's like, well, it's in a situation when like someone does something that they told you not to do. Like I think it's one of those things where he knows the situations it fits in, but not a
yeah.
formal definition. And I bet he was like perseverating in the sense of like, oh my God, did I use the right word? Is that the right word? Hypocrisy? Is that what it means? I'll ask Ro because he's my guy. Like it seemed like such a genuine moment of like, I've used that word twice. I used it right, right?
No, it
Right?
was
Is that what
definitely
it means?
funny. It was cute. It was definitely cute.
Yes.
Probably if he wasn't so much chest hair, it would be perfect. Because I like them dumb and hot. So,
And hairless. You need
but
to add
yeah,
another thing to that list. That's the
well,
problem there.
that's part of hot. So, but yeah,
That's
then I would
subjective.
I would like his dumb then, but yeah, no, no, I didn't care
Oh,
for it.
I just thought it was a very sweet moment, and like I said, Ro not laughing, not judging, not making it a big thing like
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would, just being like, "Yeah, bro, you got it." And how awkward was that? That Kyle like throws a ball right when Victoria opens the door and it hits her. Like that could have led to a big argument. I'm surprised she didn't use that as part of her ammo. Like you threw a ball at me.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, yeah. It's. I think it's sad to see Kyle go because I do think, it necessarily wasn't the best move for Ty and Jetson.
Nope, not at all. I don't think so.
Because as now we know, we have an invisible HOH, and you're a guy couple in the house now. So wouldn't it have been great if there was another one to go after? It wasn't that good of a move, but again, I feel for Kyle and appreciate that he's a super fan. I Like I said last show, I don't understand why he does some of the things that he does
Mm.
if he's
Mhm.
a super fan, but he didn't really add anything to the game for me, and I'm fine with someone who's not adding anything to the game going. But sure, he hypocrisy was a cute moment.
But he did, from what I saw in the edited episode, he did fight. He did campaign. He did pitch to
Well, the
people.
last minute.
Yes, at the last minute, but was that strategy? Was that, I'm going to wait till the last minute to get in these people's ears as opposed to telling them early, they all compare notes and decide against me. And I've seen plenty of people have that strategy of like, keep quiet.
Well,
And kind of Austin kind of did it too of like, stay quiet, stay quiet, stay quiet, stay quiet. Campaign.
I mean that it 100% is the strategy that I think everyone should do. I think it doesn't matter what people tell you on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Yep.
Tuesday. It pretty much only matters if you get people before they go to bed on Wednesday and keep it going. So I agree, but we know from his interview with Arissa that no, it wasn't his plan. He just didn't want to because he didn't have the heart to campaign against Austin.
Well, that I need to hear because my feed cut out for his whole interview with Arissa.
Okay,
So I have no idea what he talked about.
then yes, she said, "Why, what happened? It seemed like you gave up." And he said, I did a little bit. I didn't have the heart to campaign against Austin. I
Oh wow.
really cared for her, but then when it got to the end, like I realized I needed to for myself, my game. I almost had it. I almost flipped it, but unfortunately, it is what it is."
That's one of the toughest things, and that's why I commend people who are able to campaign. I commend people who are able to backstab and manipulate. Like that to me is amazing because like just using personal example, sitting next to Cliff, sitting next to David, I went through the phases of grief where at first I was like, I can't fight. I love this person too much. Then it was this person deserves to be here. I don't. Then it was no, I deserve to be here too. That it was no, I came here for my life and my family. So like it's weird how I think most people kind of go through those phases of like, I can't, I want to, but I can't, but so I think, that definitely weighs on someone's game where, maybe it very much was not him not really knowing the game or how to play. Maybe it very much was like, damn, I care for us and I don't want to speak against her. But like I always say, you're not campaigning against the other person, you're campaigning for yourself.
I like that Yuri girl says he was worried about campaigning against the girl that clearly put him in the friend zone.
Well, did they ever kiss? Did we get an answer to that on the feeds?
Yes, I believe that. I'm not one to be like, let me go find them making out. So that's not like really on my radar. But I feel like they did, or I feel like I've heard people say that they did.
Well, I mean, that dynamic alone, I okay, I see a lot of people in chat saying no, they did not. This dynamic alone from the scene, I was dying because I love studying people's mannerisms and how they act around each other. And I love how it was like she took her hair down and then he started grooming himself. And then she was like, "Oh." And then he was like, "Yeah." And then she said something that kind of shot him down. Oh, walking into the house, I didn't really view anybody that way. So he was like, "Heh, oh." And you just see him get like such a straight face of like, "Oh, never mind." And then she giggled, then he giggled. Like I love watching that kind of stuff because I find it so fascinating. That moment when people like, do you feel something? Or is it just me? Or oh, are you feeling something? Because I'm not. Like it's like spoken but not spoken, so it's awkward and it's fun to watch. I don't know.
Yeah. Um. uh, wh- yeah. I mean, she did friend zone him though.
She did.
I don't feel
He
like
was like,
she
"Oh, I really
really.
thought you were cute," and she was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I didn't view anybody that way." Ooh.
It seemed like again they were trying to force it to be a storyline more than it was a storyline.
Okay, I can see that. And maybe they were like in the early stages of it, and had they both stayed, maybe we would have seen more of that. And I wish them luck if there is something there. I wish them luck after the season's over.
Nah,
I love love. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and if it's not, it's not.
I love love, but I would want someone better for Austin than a
Oh, I don't
Kyle.
I don't think they match. I don't.
That's
They're.
what I'm
I feel like,
saying. Like
yeah,
they're
their personalities are very different. But
yeah.
if they want to, go right ahead.
Like
You have my blessing.
I Kyle needs to be more with like a dominatrix.
Oh,
Kyle needs to be more with someone who's gonna like have a whip and tell him like, "Shut up, you're not talking." Like control literally everything about him. Be
like
like,
shut
"Good
up,
boy,
hypocrite.
heel." Yeah, that's totally what he needs.
Someone who likes ball pits.
Yeah.
That was cute too. I know I'm jumping around, but that was cute too with Austin's like goodbye message. Like, oh, I miss our conversations in the ball pit. Like that's so sweet that like that was like their thing. And Kyle, I act like it's like a in memoriam, but Kyle like loved the ball pit. You know what I mean? Hang out. And I feel like I'd be the same way. I feel like that would be a very calming location.
Yeah.
Um,
Um but yeah.
so okay. I want to get your thoughts on the celebration
Mhm.
and all the partying and everything. But in that regard, more so why?
Why what?
Why? Why call Tina and Tara to the DR? Put attention on them as a duo. Make it seem as though they got a power because they walk out of the DR together acting all sketchy. Braden sees it and he's like, the fuck? They go in the storage room together. They're giggling. Everybody's Rose, like, guys, they're in there giggling. And I understand, like, once they brought the beers out, everybody probably forgot anyway. But I still have it in my head, like, was there more to that? Did they get a power and then they brought the beers out? Like, I almost feel as though that celebration could have occurred without production can, or whatever you want to call it, putting a weird emphasis on Tina and Tara. And I know the house sees them as a duo. I know the house sees them as TNT, but I don't
No,
know.
that's Big Brother. That's exactly what Big Brother lives to do, create paranoia.
Yeah, and I think they like that was a very blunt way of doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I don't, they could have done it in such a different way. They could have said, like, called Justina, waited a
Yeah,
little bit, called Tara. Like, they wanted the house to be aware what was going on.
yeah, it's like nope. I guess did people hear them get called in together?
Yeah, clearly. I mean, I would always do that. I mean, not for nothing. Like, again, I have so much to say about this invisible HOH, but the first thing that I would be doing after this HOH competition is paying attention to who's being called into the HOH. But I would be I would have been paying
DR.
attention at the DR. I would
Mhm.
have been paying attention to who's been being called into the DR every week
Yep.
and in the order it is. And is the HOH always called third? Or does the HOH always have so much more time in there compared to the other people that are called?
Yep.
Like, I feel like there would be ways to kind of try and figure it out.
I can see that. There's a lot that DR calling, mirror watching, camera watching, that can help definitely.
Yeah.
But
S-
I loved, and again, I know I have a different opinion from probably a lot of like not relentless, but like raw watchers of the show. I know people want to see cutthroat, stabbing in the back, screaming, fighting, fight for your life, screw everybody over. I know people want to see that. I'm wired a different way. To each their own. I love these type things. This to me is Big Brother. This is what I signed up for. I like the group events, the group activities and games and laughing. It's camaraderie, it's like team building. And as much as they do say things to each other and they disagree and they get into arguments, I will put money on it that I think they're going to be a very, very tight cast because they do a lot of things together.
I mean, yeah, I think the overall consensus from fans this season is they're loving this season.
Hmm.
So
I
like,
I think I think some people like when I say like, oh my god, I love all the hugging and the camaraderie. I think people take that as me meaning it on a game level. And I don't mean on a game level. Of course, everybody likes to see a power shift. Everybody likes to see a blind side. That's dynamic from like a viewer standpoint. but as a human being that has played it, I go, oh, I like to see that. I like to see them laughing and like getting
Well,
out of
yeah.
that pressure cooker of like anger and frustration.
Yeah, and I mean, we all said that, watching All Stars, there was no fun. It was
Yep.
just game the entire time. So I
Oh,
think whether
my
people
parents can't get past it. They're like, "Where was this stuff in the Ulcer house? Why didn't you guys do
yeah,
this stuff?" I was like, "Guys, I don't know. I don't. I'm not in charge. Like, you should have done stuff like this." I'm like, "What? You think I'm gonna bring beer in my suitcase?"
yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, everybody said that. I mean, that's what we all
Yeah.
said watching All Stars. And I think Arissa, we know Arissa's executive producer. Arissa's a huge Big Brother fan. She watches all the US seasons. I'm sure Arissa saw the temperature of the way fans felt about last season and was making sure, let's introduce more of those fun moments. Let's introduce more of the things that people like. But back to your original point, I, I don't, I would say this season makes the case for we don't need those things. We don't need, I don't mean the fun stuff. We don't need drama, fighting, screaming, yelling. This season has been amazing,
Yep.
engaging, a roller coaster, power shifts, yes,
Fun.
arguments, but in a respectable way. Like, I think this season's great.
I agree. I'm absolutely loving it, and I hope, like BB23 follows the trajectory of, like you said, arguments but respectful, take you out, but then hug you when you leave, like friendship. Like I like to see it. I really do.
Yeah. No, I loved it.
Mm.
It was nice to see it. And then did I miss something with Braden and Ty or Braden and Jedson?
Braden and Jedson kissed during the spin
Uh
bottle, I believe. So Beth said to Braden, like, haha, join the club.
okay, because people were tweeting me about it, but like,
Uh,
all of I have to like when we're watching the show, I do the screen like all of the photos that I'm pulling up, I do the screen grab, and then when I do the screen grab, it knocks the show down for like 10 seconds, and then I have to like pull it back up, so clearly I missed a kiss during it.
you know what people were tweeting me about? Quick, brief commercial break. um, about new Peep Pepsi. It's Pepsi, but
It's
it's Peep flavor.
disgusting. Ooh.
Which those are two of my favorite things, but I found out they're not selling it. It's in a sweepstakes, so I need to understand and figure out how I get my hands on Peep Pepsi because I will never get back from that. I think my life will be forever changed. My life will forever be pre-Peep Pepsi and post-Peep Pepsi. I
Um,
can't say it.
by the way, just Google Peeps soda. It already exists. I
What?
know for a fact we've talked about it. We've had it on an East. It's a thing already.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll be on. I'll do that post show. That's task number one.
Yes, thank you for sticking around to the end to not go find out about Peep Soda. Or someone could just go tweet it to you, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks, guys. I just
um,
want you to know I wasn't gonna leave right now and go do it. You know.
I got it. I
I mean,
wasn't
unless the
worried.
doorbell rang and someone was delivering Pete Pepsi, then listen, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, you know?
Yeah. Peep Pepsi. Heard got it.
So I love Peeps and I love Pepsi. One thing Tina does not like is people not campaigning. So she was kind of running around the house getting agitated that people weren't campaigning.
Mhm.
I don't know on the feeds how vocal she was about it or if she was like saying it to people's faces, but she was pretty stirred up about it, which yeah, I get. But no offense, Tina, let it be. Like don't start stuff and involve yourself. You don't really have to. You know, that's their problem if they don't want to campaign.
No, I get what she was saying. Like I thought the point she made was very smart. Like people campaigning is when you get to make deals for your own safety going forward, or when you can use bargaining chips to find out information. So I was on board with her too. I would totally see why it would be frustrating. Wasn't it
No,
Tara? Did you say
oh,
Tina?
oh, I meant Tara. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Tara. Sorry, that was my error. Yes, Tara. I do agree, but I would say more so within the time frame of days in advance. I wouldn't worry. If it was the last, like the night before, or the day of, then I'd be like, I need to talk to these people and see where they're at. But days in advance, I'd be like, that's on you if you're not campaigning. I'm just gonna observe and
Mhm.
see where you're at. I mean, I'm a talker, so if I'm alone in a room with one of them, I'd be like, "Oh, so like, what's up? What are you thinking?" But um, I was like, "Damn, she's got cojones, Tara, for like walking into a room with both of them and just sitting there like, sup."
I mean, I think I kind of what chat is saying. I think I said it on the last show. Tara was insufferable this week. She also walked around like it was her HOH.
Yep.
She's calling the shots. Every time Kiefer would give her one bit of information, she would go run it around the house. Like she was insufferable this week to the point where like I can easily see if Tina is not the winner, or if her or Tina are not the winner, I
Mhm.
can see her being a nom this week.
I could see that. And I think I saw an inkling of that what you're talking about when Kiefer was saying the whole "I'm good at this game," and Tara was like, "Why do you think I wore my cute outfits?" In other words, like, "I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm cool, like, I'm rocking and rolling, I'm safe." So I think it was really only Tina in that scenario that was kind of like, "Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard because there's like Terra the feeds, Terra the show. If I only watch the show, I would love Terra, but it's like she's like Debbie Downer. Like, every
really,
time you want not in the she walks around and complains about stuff, but just every time you want the good bit of information to stay a while or you don't want something to come out because you wanna see what's coming, she's always the one to just be like, "Hi, guys, guess what? This is what's gonna happen."
wow, okay, okay." I see like rainbows and black roses on YouTube saying Tina and Tara flip flop too much. They know they jump who they're gonna with voting out Latoya. They wanted to go against Kiefer's wishes, and I think that can get frustrating if it's not successful and it just comes across wishy-washy. But I think if they're able to do it successfully, and let's say all of a sudden there are final two, we're all going to look back and go, "Damn, good for them for flip-flopping." So I'm not against flip-flopping if it's done well and people are aware of what's happening. If people are aware of like this side's better and it works for them, do it. Oh, that side's better and it works for you, go do it. But if it's just like, let's pick a side, like that's a little bit different.
I like what, Lala Crystal said. That whole Terra thing that they showed for 30 seconds lasted 5 hours. I was exhausted.
Holy hell.
Yeah, she's a bit much on the feeds.
Wow, that's really interesting. That's what's cool too is like, you see like what they put in the edit and you're like, "Oh, was that a 2-second thing? Was that a 5-hour thing? Was that a she did it every day or did she was it, I don't know."
No, she is she's a dragger outer. But I see Chickadee said I think Tara needs to slow roll, lay low. But to the flip side of that, her words kind of did matter and sink in because when Kyle went to go make his point to like a tie and a
Yep.
Jetson,
Mhm.
he really made sense. What he was
He did.
saying was not wrong.
He really did, and that's something again, regardless of how you feel about people in the game, out of the game, whatever, like you got to give him kudos. The man gave a very, very good pitch. He sold his case to the two of them. I was proud of him. One thing that I always find very, very interesting is I think this is so much like new school Big Brother is Kiefer walking into his own HOH room and doing something I would do is, "Oh, do you guys need a minute?" and walking out. And I feel like that's such new school. I think back in the day, the person would come in and just sit and not let them finish. Or the person would be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Tell me to my face." I think it's so funny. New school is very like, "Oh, you're campaigning? I'll give you a minute." And that, like, I've seen that in the seasons I've been on. I've seen it since then. People are very like, "Oh, you guys are okay, okay." I'll get, and I just think it's so interesting as it compared to like years and years and years ago, where the person would be
Well,
like, "Fuck this! What are you guys doing? Campaigning around in my room? What are you talking about? Tell me right now."
I never understand the people that ask the HOH to get out of their room. I always think that consciously or subconsciously is going to come back to bite them.
No, I get that.
Um, but I also think that it goes back to specifically with this cast of I really do feel they are aware they are making a television show. Like there is part of me that thinks it's more about, oh, you guys are filming your scene about the conversation. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
come back later. I'll let you guys finish your scene.
And again, I think that's not, I wouldn't even say new school. I would say that's just modern because
Right.
these shows have been around for so long that whereas back in the day people didn't know what was filmed or when or whatever. Nowadays it's very like you said, oh, this is that scene. I'll let them get their footage.
Yes. Oh, exactly. That's what that I think that's how it plays off now.
Um, so in that sense, like we have Kyle pitching to Jed and Ty. We have Tina and Tara. They go to Kiefer and kind of say like, Austin's not pitching anything. Austin's coming after you. We should really go after her because if Kyle stays, he'll put up Jed and Ty, and that keeps your hands clean. Blah blah blah. Which is also kind of like what Kyle did say to Kiefer of like, listen, I
Yeah.
can go after them, and you'd still be buddy buddy with them. They go to Row, Tina and Tara. And Row, I think being pretty sensible, is like, yeah, 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 and then walks away and is like, too good to be true. I'll believe it when I see it, which kudos to Ro, because sometimes in that house it can get very easy to go, really? He's staying? Yippee! And he didn't. He was just like, all right, well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same exact thing where, like you said, where he kind of filled Victoria in on, the plan earlier to
Yes.
be like, you don't really know what's going on here. All these people are playing everyone else.
And he is looking great. He has the color back in his face. His face filled out a little bit. I'm happy for my man Ro. He's back rowing his boat like that. Eh?
Mm,
Pun intended.
I got a new problem with Ro today that you might agree with me on this time.
Which one was that?
I don't like the whole and now I'm gonna forget what he said. The two people, even Ty. I don't like when Ty sits down and talks to Arissa and is like, "What's up, beautiful?" I don't like that. Seems weird. And Ro does the same thing, and I forget what he says. Like,
AC? Was he
"What's up?"
AC?
What?
Was he the one that was like, "What's up, AC"?
Maybe it's the "What was up, AC." It came off like disrespectful.
I hear
He
that.
said AC. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't like it. Both of those, I was like, it's
I didn't see that.
Arissa. It's
I
the
think it was
host of the show.
I think it was Victoria too that was like, "Hi, beautiful." Like I I agree with that. Yeah. I always said, "Hi, Julie." I would never be like, "Hey, gorgeous girl." Like,
Or like,
ugh.
hey, Chenba. First of all, I don't know. I guess there's trigger words. I don't, and I guess, or
That's a
situations. I
yeah.
don't know. I think if you're not dating someone and you say to a girl like, "Hey, beautiful," like it's
Like
condescending at times.
I know, but like, if like Ty came on the show and was like, "What's up, beautiful?" I'd be like, "Hi, Ty."
Well, yeah, if Ty came on the show and was like, "What's up, beautiful?" We'd both be like,
And you'd be like, "It's all right. Don't worry about it."
"It's all right, whatever you want, Ty."
He does have nice tattoos. That's just a random
Mm-hmm.
statement, but
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that
love
was what I
tattoos.
was not a fan. I was not a fan of their things, but we'll get there.
You know what I was a fan of?
What?
Arissa showing them some recap footage of the season so far and all them having fun times. That I love. I love watching people see themselves. And what's really cool about it, because obviously we're watching them, so we know they're on TV. What's weird about being in that house, obviously as a newbie, when you're in that house as a newbie, it's almost like you're being filmed, but you don't know you're being filmed. And you're always being filmed, but you don't know you're always being filmed. So I like watching them as they see footage of themselves for the first time because the average person doesn't know what they look like from like an aerial shot, a feet shot, a behind shot, a front shot. So in your pajamas, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're half asleep. So I like seeing them see the footage of themselves because it's always like complete like what just happened. And then I love after the footage is over when Arissa went back to all of them and they're all kind of like, yeah, yeah, because like it's a weird moment. You could tell like they're all like excited but like uncomfortable, and I love it.
I mean, kind of like what you said in the beginning about Tarantina and getting the alcohol and being called together. There was part of me, like if I was in that game, because I thought it watching it, of the
Mhm.
Kiefer sliding into that room and
Yes.
running and I'm like, I don't feel like that should have been in there.
Yep.
I
There
would
was
have
certain.
been annoyed with that being in there if I was Kiefer. I would be like, that makes it look like I searched way more than I did. And yet, like, that's not fair. Like, why are you? I think there are things that production can do to put targets on people. There are things production can do to help people. I think that put a target on him. Just like I say, I think when Zingbot says something like, you have a bad game, nobody likes you, da da da, that is a help to you in the game. Like, I
Yes.
feel like that makes the house forget about you, which is a good thing.
No, that's very true. They should show the things like the game they all played together with the
Yeah,
potato and the ice
yeah,
cream and the egg. They should
yeah.
show the fashion show they all partook in. They should show them all jumping into the ball pit. But I do agree, like, even there was a moment where it was Victoria and I think Austin in the bathroom together, and she was like, "Okay, Canada." Even something as simple as that. Not everybody was in that bathroom. So it's kind of a moment. If I was sitting there, I'd be like, "Oh, what were them two talking about in that bathroom that day that made Victoria so confident?" So I do agree, certain footage, it's like, why are they showing that? Like Austin walking into the HOH and dancing for like the guys. Like if I
Hmm.
was not in that H, unless they were all in there, if you're somebody who wasn't in that room, you're gonna have a
Yeah,
moment of like, why were they dancing in the HOH room? Huh.
right. That's exactly my point.
No, that's a very, very valid point.
And
Absolutely.
I'm sure that game makes you paranoid, so and we know none of it really meant anything, but I would have probably read into all of that if I was in that house.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure a lot of them were trying to like memorize it in case it's part of a comp or something.
Yeah. Yep.
What did you think? Because this is another part that, of course, cut out for me. I missed the speeches by, uh, excuse me, Kyle and Austin.
I mean, we knew what they were gonna be, like, oh, row show, our row show is coming to the row close, and blah blah blah. Like, I think he knew he was going from the live feeds they told him last night. So
It seemed that way just by, again, when they were showing the recap footage, Austin was laughing more and Kyle was very like, was it like a straight face? And I was like, "Ah,
yeah, so they knew. So like I mean the speeches were very much of Kyle saying his goodbyes and knowing that he was leaving, Austin, being like, do what's best for your game, blah blah blah. I know I'm not going.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha." So that brings us to the vote. We have everybody vote to evict Kyle, with the exception of course, Roe. Roe votes to evict Austin. He leaves. He hugs everybody. Again, going back to my thinking that they are going to be a pretty close cast. And Roe is waiting by the door for his buddy with his bag, which I always think is the sweetest thing when like the best friend waits. It's very like symbolic and it makes me emotional. But he hands him his bag, and my random statement is like, "Damn!" to Kyle's shoes. Those were nice shoes. Does anybody else feel that way? I could not get past him walking up the steps. I was like, those are nice shoes. They were so
Loafers?
shiny. They were like
Yeah.
brown and shiny.
Because you didn't go to Catholic school.
No, I did not.
Yeah, that's everyone's shoes in Catholic school. I think I probably have six
Nice.
different pairs.
Cool. I like them.
But I want to go back to the vote. So I mean, well, we said first what we said about the vote, but dare I dare I go
Uh-oh.
back down this road? So you're telling me now, keep in mind, everyone agreed last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they were voting Kyle out, and obviously Roe was giving him a vote.
Yeah.
So now I would just like to say, like, I believe if I was in this game today, I would have thrown a vote to create chaos in the house, to make people wonder who was that second vote. Was it a tie and a Jetson? Is Kiefer betraying me? Is Victoria where she says she really is? Like, I 100%, if I believed in my gut that everyone was going to vote how they decided last night,
Yep.
I would have 100% threw in a vote today.
I hear that in the sense of the order in which they did the votes. I believe Jed was more toward the end. I thought he was going to throw one. Just like the way he walked in there, he was
Hmm.
one of the last people to vote. It was already pretty much unanimous. I'm like, I feel like he's going to throw one out there just to see who it affects. And I do hear what you're saying. You guys know how I feel about rogue votes. For me, the type of game player I am, I don't think it would be smart to do. Like, I think
Yeah.
if like Kiefer's voting, which he wasn't, but if he was, it wouldn't be smart for Kiefer to do it. It wouldn't be smart for Tara to do it. It wouldn't be like there's certain people where it's just the way of the world. It's gonna get back to you, and you're gonna look guilty, and you're gonna get fucked. Whereas if someone like a Jed throws a rogue vote, it may not necessarily get back to him. But I still have such conviction that oftentimes it can be traced back because people have their strong allies and they know, well, it wasn't you, it wasn't me, it had to be this person. And most times people have an idea and it just leads to trouble. And I feel like someone like me, my nature, if I threw a rogue vote, it would come back to bite me instantaneously.
I see that Kay Whittington said Tara crying during the vote seemed a bit disingenuous to me.
I understand people crying during votes because my that's something my mom always says. My mom goes, bunch of frauds, all hugging each other. I sadly vote to like, you're not sad. My mom always says it. She's like, you're not sad. Don't hug people. Don't be sad. Don't cry. But I do get getting emotional. I do get crying. But I will agree with that. That I think Tara's was seemed a little extra, if you will. But
Well,
then
wasn't
again,
it?
I've seen footage where people I've looked extra and I go, oh, I was genuine in that moment. Why does it look like that? And I do hear you in the chat. You are right. Enzo's hinky votes did not get back to anyone, and that's because he was Enzo. He was somebody that people didn't question. I again look at Scotty from BB20 right away. People are like, oh, it's fucking Scotty.
And Butterfly of Death, I forget. Oh God, his name has escaped me. But same thing. Big Brother Canada a few
Oh,
seasons ago, he threw the vote and then But I mean, he threw the vote when there was like 6 or
mm,
7 people left, so 3 already aren't voting. There wasn't like a ton of people. It was obvious that it was Johnny. Thank you, Chat Johnny. But yeah,
I hear that.
yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on Tara like crying?
I think she meant it. I think it was, oh, that's what I
So
was saying. I think in her goodbye message, she said, like, you reminded me of my son, yada, yada, yada. I think she meant it.
he didn't get a lot of goodbye messages, no? I feel like last week, was it Latoya? I feel like got a lot, and I feel like for Kyle it was like 3 people. You had
Well, they
like
had a lot to
Tara.
cover. The most amazing HOH that we'd have to see to believe was coming up.
So, Tara says,
You gotta
like you said,
see it. You gotta see it to believe, everyone. There's gonna be a rock, and you're gonna have to push a button. Are you guys ready? It's gonna be the most mind blowing shit you've ever seen. Oh, by the way, you're not
I'm
gonna get to
enthralled.
see all of it.
I need more comps like that. But all right, so Tina says you remind me of my son, like you said. Austin talks about the ball pit combos. Ro says, what was it like? It's showtime with like a hand gesture. I'm not really sure. I guess that's like their thing, the two of them. But again, I wanted to ask you, was there anything else that Kyle said to Arissa? Because I got cut out for his whole goodbye messages. You just said he didn't campaign because of Austin.
That was it.
That was it.
That was pretty much it. That was pretty
Wow.
much the main point. What I wanted to ask you, because like when they were doing the voting, because I always am stupidly of this mindset of 2 things. I forget that the live feed updaters live tweet on eviction night, so all the information's there ready. But I always think like, oh, I need to write down what the votes are so that we can remember what the votes are. So I'm
Yeah.
always like, la writing down. My point is, I'm listening, I'm just not looking. Why was there so much screaming in between the voting? I swear, like, am I just remembering this wrong? But I swear, in between like every vote was a girl screaming.
I noticed it once or twice, and I think it was their hallway transitions. It was a lot of, excuse me, a lot of high fives,
Screaming?
chest bumps,
It seemed like
like,
someone was terrified, like in between. It was like, I vote to evict, blah, blah, blah. Ah! I vote to evict, blah, blah, blah. Ah! I vote to evict, blah, blah. Ah! I'm like, what is happening? And like every time
maybe
I
it
would
was
look
something about
up, there's
production.
nothing. I don't know. It was so weird. It made no sense. It was
It was a
probably death.
tactile fan on production. Oh no, but no, maybe it was somebody in the living room that was transferring through. But I know I heard it once or twice, and I was looking down as well. But I think the two times I looked up, I think it was like Victoria interacting with somebody, and like maybe Tina interacting with somebody. So I thought it was just like their hallway transitions, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe. And then
HOH, here you go. We're
yeah.
here. We're at the HOH. Lay it on us, Eric.
No, it annoyed, it just it's like expectation. Don't and I love Arissa and I understand what we're doing. I understand that this is a show and we're trying to keep people engaged, but then I also think there is a thing where you need to build honesty and make people trust what you're saying. So when you're like, this is going to be the most epic HOH competition, you're going to have to see the HOH competition to believe it.
But were they saying competition though, or were they saying the
Yeah.
most epic HOH?
Yeah. If they were saying HOH, then fine. I guess then I am wrong. But I
But I
was just
do
like,
hear you.
it's
They were
rocks
building up.
falling.
Yeah.
It's rocks falling. And you knew we weren't going to get to know the HOH.
No, that's true. I guess you're right. Regardless, even if like the week's gonna be crazy, the way they built it up, they should have started with something crazier. And they did. They did reveal obviously that the HOH is invisible. Nobody will know all week who the HOH is, to the point where they get to play in veto, so nobody knows, to the point where they get to play in the next HOH, so
Oh, I
nobody
know.
knows. The only thing you don't get obviously is the HOH room.
Mm.
So that's like I guess I don't know if you get a message from your family in secret. Maybe they'll give them something in the DR. Because I would hate it if I won this HOH and they're like, yeah, you're invisible, no messages from home or no gift box. Like I'd be like, can I have a gift box in the DR where I can come in here and eat like Sour Patch Kids or something? So that'd be more so my concern. But one thing that stood out to me was Kiefer. Obviously,
Grim
he can't
Reaper.
play in this HOH, so he's
Mm-hmm.
getting really upset and he's frustrated.
Yeah.
However, don't see it as a fuck this. I could have been a secret HOH and then I could play again next week. Kiefer, don't view it that way. If he plays his cards right, he's in the perfect spot. He's the only one who can't be invisible. So he can walk around going,
Yeah.
well, it ain't me. You guys can all look at each other, but it ain't me. And that is essentially a guaranteed week of safety because nobody's going to be sketched out by you. So I understand you're frustrated. You're not invisible. I understand you're frustrated that you can't play all these weeks in a row, but you're in
Yeah.
the best position because everybody's going to be weirded out by each other. And you could just be like, ain't me. And people have to believe you because it's true.
No, that is a good point when it comes to Kiefer. Do you feel like it's too much power? So again, they are the HOH. They can nominate anonymously. They can play in the POV, and most importantly, they can play next week in the HOH again. I almost feel like it's too much power.
I like this is not related, but not related. I like that it's a comp anybody can do. It's not like hold this 500-pound thing, and you know what I mean. Like it's something anybody could do. I will say, based on what my good buddy Eric has taught me about BB I think it's gonna be revealed at some point.
Me too.
So because it's so much power, because it's so much good, I think it's going to be something that a week or two or three down the line, all of a sudden it's like, guess what? The invisible person was. It's like, ah, shit.
I mean, I also think that I want to know the rules here.
Yes,
Are they allowed to tell if they want? So, like, can you tell? Like, if you're the HOH, are you allowed to tell? Are you allowed to act like you're the HOH? Are you? And then how does POV gonna work? Because
that's true.
let's say, right, you're the
Yeah.
HOH.
Yes.
The noms get made, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, crap, I messed up. I want to use the POV, or even better, I want to build trust with someone. I'm going to
Oh,
secretly nominate these people. Now I
secretly
win the
save.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so, like, now like, in other words, is the winning of the POV secret, I guess, is my point, or will
it
the
is.
POV so even if you're on the block and win the POV, it's secret?
Huh. That's true.
This
So if you win and you nominate me and my sister, I win veto. Is that then public where it's like, guys, I won it. I'm taking myself down.
you know
Yeah,
what?
I'm sure veto's going to be revealed. I'm sure veto's going to be revealed because whether you're the secret HOH or not, it doesn't matter. You won the fucking veto. They just won't know that you're then replacing the replacement nominee.
I think it should all be secret. I literally think everyone should just play the game this week, and they just find out who they're voting for on Thursday.
Oh
Like,
shit.
the HOH should just go and be like, "These are the people I nominated." Then they're like, "Okay, guys, play the HOH. If a person who is nominated won, we will let them know. No one gets
Oh,
let."
POV. Yes. Yep. That's
Like,
true.
so in other words, you're not told that you're nominated.
Oh, so everything's secret, secret. You have no idea
I
who you're
want it
not.
all secret. The whole week secret, everything secret. You don't know if you're nominated. You don't know if you won POV, if it saved you. So I guess the HOH would have to create another nom as a replacement in case a POV is used. It comes Thursday, you sit down. That's when the two faces come on the screen. These are the people you guys are voting for.
That's very true.
Yeah, I want to see it like that. Let's really screw with them.
So they would have to make the imaginary HOH name for people. It would have to be here's my two noms. This
And a
person would be the
replacement.
replacement unless they win the veto, then this person. So they'd have to name four people.
Yeah.
And you're right. Production doesn't tell anybody what's happening any which way until Thursday night comes and it's hey, here it is. And
Yeah, that would give them
ding ding
nothing to
ding
edit
ding
though on
ding.
this show.
The HOH doesn't vote. So
Correct.
on Thursday, are they gonna call the HOH into the DR just for good measure?
I guess they'd have to.
Huh.
So everyone's getting called into the HOH. There's no way we're not gonna know. I can't see them literally not letting these people tell.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure you can't claim you're it. You can't walk around going, I'm HOH when you're not. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's against the rules, but I don't see them not telling each other. The only person I could see not saying it is maybe Kiefer, and he can't be HOH, and Victoria. Kyle's gone, so Roe. But Austin will tell Braden. Braden will tell Austin. Tina will tell Tara. Tara will tell Tina. Jed will tell
Terrible
Ty.
tell the whole
Ty will tell
house.
Jed. No, but they would at least tell their duo. So the only people who I think wouldn't tell would be like Vic
Hmm.
and Roe.
Right. Yeah, I think there's so many different factors at play here where as a lot as our at BBCAN9 live feeds updaters account on Twitter. I'm gonna feel bad for all those people updating if there's not gonna be some way that we have this information before Monday. I mean, I think most people know all of the game is played between tonight and Monday.
Yep.
Um, so it's gonna be real hard to update if you don't know who has what and what's going on.
Oh, we'll know. Like I see, people in Max's mom saying Victoria speaks to the cameras, but I also see based on what you were saying, um, Mad Dragon saying that would be so boring to watch.
Yeah.
Lala Crystal, what would they talk about? I don't think it'd be boring. I think if nobody knows shit, it would be so
That would be
funny to see
paranoia.
the paranoia, speculation, ass kissing, bullshitting drama that would regardless happen. Because what's worse when you know someone's in power? When you don't. So it's like you're either the devil you know than the devil you don't. You're gonna have people that are like, "How y'all doing?" You know what I mean? Like I think it'd be interesting to watch a week where nobody has any idea what the fuck's going on.
Um, I mean, Raj's Fun World brings up a good point. Maybe they don't care if you're gonna, if you make fake claims because at the end of the day, no one has an HOH, so you won't know if they're lying or telling the truth. So go ahead, let the people do what they want. Let them
And
pretend they have it.
true, but don't you also feel like this is gonna spill over somehow into the eviction? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Four people are evicted. Does this week start jury?
I believe this week starts jury. Yes.
So let's just say this person has the title of like the invisible evictee. What would that maybe entail? Like I almost feel like there's a twist tied to that person then. Like, hey, you were evicted on an invisible week. You are now going to be the invisible man in the house and you're in a secret room where you get to watch everything. Like I
Secret
think it's gonna
Expedia
tie into
room.
something. Yeah, I think it's gonna
I
tie
mean,
into something.
I feel like in the beginning of the episode, they did say there was a power, and I
Yes.
wouldn't call this a power. I would call it a twist. So you could be right.
I feel like there has to be more to it because they're ooh, invisible. Remind yourself of the word invisible. And then someone, after not knowing who they're nominated by and who's happening and what's happening, all of a sudden you're
Oh,
evicted.
did you see
Like
what Wendy Lee just said in chat?
Wendy Lee. Oh my God. If I had a trophy, I would teleport it. Wendy Lee on YouTube. You're so right. Thursday is April Fool's Day. So maybe it's an invisible HOH because it doesn't exist. They're going to tell the person who's evicted and be like, April Fools, you're not evicted, which helps counter the fact there's only 14 house guests. And that buys us a week. Wow, Wendy Lee, whammo kablamo, you got it. Trophy to you, my friend. I agree with Wendy Lee. I'm Team Wendy. I agree.
Wendy, you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to my P.O. box or Nicole's, and we'll send a trophy sticker to you. I mean, I'm not kidding. We have stickers. We can send them to
We
you.
do have stickers. I want Wendy Lee to get a sticker because even if it doesn't happen, that is the best answer I've ever heard. I swear. You
Do you
guys
know
know
what
how
I
I feel about April Fool's Day. Last year on April Fool's Day, our BBCAN, we had a very, very, very tough time, me and Eric. So this could be it. Could be the day it happens.
wasn't April Fool's Day our first episode of Hello Friends podcast?
April Fool's Day may have been. That was when you and I got into a tiff because we were both convinced the other one was lying about
Big Brother
BBCAN 8 being
Canada.
canceled and interviews not happening. And I
Yeah,
thought
and
you were
that's what we
screwing
did the
me.
podcast about. So then I don't think it was on April Fool's, but that probably means we're coming up on a 1 year anniversary.
We are.
Yay!
Yay.
April Fool's week would be kind of boring though. Well, no,
No,
wouldn't
it'd
that
be
just
funny.
be the April Fools, as they would say, haha, you're not evicted.
Yeah, and after all that drama and whispering and paranoia, and I know it's you, and you know it's you, and Bob, you're evicted. Oh no! And then it's like, no, no, no. Let's start like kind of like a rewind week essentially, and that already stirred the pot so much, and people are in a heightened state, and then you go into the next week, and that's why the HOH gets to play next week
Hmm.
because it didn't count.
I agree with Big Sissy Banana. Tina could, but Tara could never keep her mouth shut if she got HOH. I completely agree. I think there's no way Tara keeps that secret.
I'm distracted because I love that username. That's like motherfucker, big sissy banana.
Whatever
You
happened
guys
to
know how to.
Muggerfugger?
I don't know how to motherfucker, but we do have a big banana. I love it. I love bananas. Love that name. So cool.
Big says it banana. It makes sense with 14. I almost have a feeling, yeah, maybe it'll be a double eviction. I think we're not having triple
No,
this
I think it's
season.
going to be return this week, then double.
Okay. So you think the person going out this week's returning?
Oh yeah, it's called an invisible HOH for a reason. It's going to lead that person, like you say, it's so much power for one person to have, and I think it's going to be like so much power, so much power, so much power. Nah,
Because it's way too much power, so that would make sense.
I'm calling it right now.
But God, that I don't know. I always feel for the players in that scenario. I mean, I feel for the players in this one too. I
Why?
don't
It's
think it's
invisible.
fair to I don't let's just say it sticks. I don't think it's fair to the people in the game for the twist. I know it's Big Brother and I know expect the unexpected, but at what point that like what's the point? Like
To stir the
we're
pot.
yeah, but we're playing an invisible game. Stir the pot some other way to not let someone know who's going after them, give them a chance to save their game.
Yeah, but they
Just
wouldn't go
knowing
home.
what
Yeah, but they wouldn't go home.
No, I'm saying, let's say this plays out, the person goes home.
Yes.
I hate this. for people playing the game. I think it is stupid to do to someone who has given up months of their life, gone through all of this stuff, and you create a twist that doesn't even really give them a chance to save their game. You could have done this in a different way.
That I agree with. If it follows through and it's kept secret and someone is evicted, that's messed up on the scale of like what Big Brother is, because like you're saying, you don't have a chance. But at the same time, so much of Big Brother, yes, there have been amazing people who have played and won. There's been like people that have played and gone far. There's been amazing people that go home early. So much of Big Brother is luck. And like it could just be where you got unlucky and went home on a secret week and it wasn't meant to be, and it's unfortunate. But you have to see Big Brother as like, yeah, there's strategy, yeah, there's skill, but a good portion of it is luck.
Okay, so final question because I'm dying. Uh, um, who do we want to win HOH?
Who do I want to win HOH?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this season's odd because I'm not like hell bent on one side or hell bent on one alliance or hell bent on like these people. So for me, it's more so I just want to continue to see weirdness and flippy floppy and what's happening. So I would like to see a Tina win. I don't know how people feel about that, but I think that would be so random and odd. And what would she do and what would happen? Like, I think that'd be pretty cool to see.
I love how so many people in the chats are believing that Adam started a rumor, Adam Pike started a rumor that Tina won, and people are buying it.
Oh, did it? He said Tina won?
Yeah, but
Because they're from Newfoundland. Newfoundland.
yeah.
They're
Uh
Newfies.
yeah, and we know from the show that he's a big Tina fan. Um I see people are saying Beth. I think there's a lot of things for you guys to comment on uh below this video when you're watching it back. What do you think of the invisible HOH? What do you think about the way things have transpired this week? Who would you want to be HOH? All of that.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments when you are watching it back. That being said, I uh I honestly hate to say it. You're gonna blow your mind. I would want Ro to win.
Well, yep, I get that. And it's like I was
Only
saying during yesterday's show, like you want to see that flip floppy. He just lost his final two. What would he do? How would that stir up the house? What final
yeah.
two would he go after? Like I think, yeah, I agree with that. And one person, this is so random, but I think Beth was like in it. Like she was ready. She was like beast mode waiting, like I'm gonna press my
I'm
button. So I'm
just
like,
we need to, as much as I'm love Ty and love Jetson as my eye candy for this season, they do need to be broken up. And I don't feel like watching them and Kiefer and Beth just start knocking people off one by one by one by one. We need to see like I just don't want them to have that much power in the game.
no, I agree. And I would like to see Ro and what he would do and how, like last week, Latoya went home. We wanted to see like a Jed, a Ty, a Beth, like revenge for Latoya. So I think it'd be really cool for Ro to now be like revenge for Kyle and just continue to see it
Yeah, it should
be a
always be a revenge thing. That's what they should always do. They should just give the HOH to the person who,
got fucked the most.
yeah,
How would that be determined? By Canada?
I guess. We've tried that before. Wasn't that Big Brother 1 where we got to keep voting on stuff? It doesn't work. Then it's just a popularity
And
contest.
but a Long Islander won because Long Islanders are the best.
It is true. So to remind all of you, again, the tweet is up where you guys can go leave your questions for Kyle, as is the Instagram post, both under the Hello Friends accounts on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you guys go and leave. I'd say you got about an hour-ish to leave those. Um, what was the other part? Oh, and the questions for Reagan.
Yes.
You can leave your questions for Reagan as well.
Mhm.
He is joining us tomorrow, so you have super fun interview in the afternoon coming from Kyle from us tomorrow. Reagan live at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Yes. Yuppa yuppa.
Yay! Is there anything
Yeah.
else we have to tell the people? Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, share the show now that you've made it to the end. 5-star rating and a nice review is always helpful. On the words podcast. I messed up what I was saying. I meant share.
HelloFriendsPod.com,
There, that words.
and all that good fun stuff. And I think, yeah, on that note, we will have our Kyle interview, like you said, tomorrow. Reagan is live at 6 p.m. Eastern. Reagan Fox, for those of you wondering, he's always live on Twitch playing games that scare the hell out of me. And yeah, in the coming weeks, we have some BBCAN fam joining us for recap shows. We're really excited about those. I guess I can reveal them. We have Maddie from BBCAN9 on next Thursday, and then we have Hira joining us as well, probably the following week. So everybody wants to join us for eviction shows because everybody has thoughts about the evictions and stuff. So there's all gonna be interesting stuff. A lot of good things happening. Follow us on the socials and keep up with what's crack-a-lackin'.
And if any of you would like to join us here to talk
Yes.
BB Can, I think tweet us a video or
Oh, I like that
Instagram.
idea. And
y-
nothing
Inst-
crazy.
yeah, just record yourself with your phone and tell us why you'd want to join us on, or why you think you'd be good to join us on the recap show.
Oh, I
And
love that.
tweet,
And add us
yeah.
at Hello Friends Twee, at Reality Recaps, at Strong Island NI2, so that we see it. And I like that idea. There's nothing crazy. Don't feel like you have to like decorate your house and put
No,
on
you
makeup.
don't
Or,
got, no,
don't go crazy.
no. But if you want to do it, that's what we'll do. Do that, and then we'll start picking people to join us
I love that.
on some of these recap shows. Think of it as an audition, sure. It also helps us know if people are serious. Because
Yeah.
then there are people that are like, yeah, yeah, I want to do it, and then no, and no. So this way
No
we'll know if you're
catfishing.
serious.
Don't be like recording your mom and then you connect and you're like an 8-year-old who's like, I love my brother. Some 8-year-olds are very smart, but that's not safe.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll try, like, depending on how many do it, we'll try and get everyone on that does it. If we have a lot of people, then, I guess we'll have to do some sort of a selection process, which me, just be a hot guy and shirtless, you're on.
And yes, I agree with Courtney. I would say 18 and older, of
Oh,
course, 18 or
yes.
older, to guest in. And I'm going to say this live, Eric. I don't know if you agree or not. What I would argue, if you just want to be a voice, maybe we can put a picture up. I know not everybody's comfortable with being
Oh,
videoed.
I mean, yeah, I guess that. I mean, I would think like video is preferred.
Yes, very much preferred. But if you really want to talk it and you're like, oh God, we'll figure something out. But just send us the video, audio clip, whatever the fuck it is. I should stop talking. But we want you guys to join.
Yeah. No, I mean we
And yes,
could, but
you
what?
people are joking, but like, yeah, you have to be sober, you have to be serious, you have to be legit. Anything that is inappropriate or disrespectful or offensive, you're done. We cut you off.
Yep.
Hmm. We don't tolerate it.
Don't tolerate it.
Mhm.
Okie dokie, everybody. I will probably see you guys in a little bit. And Nicole and I will be back here with the words, not once, but twice tomorrow.
3 times a lady.
Bye for now, everybody.
Bye, friend.
Bye, friends.
Goodbye.